Sides, totals, and props. We have it all right here on PuckTime. Welcome into WagerTalk TV. I am Andrew. I have Carmine and Andy with me here today. We have the Florida Panthers looking to stay hot as they take on the Rangers. The Islanders looking to get back on track against the Washington Capitals. And the last game we'll break down, the Red Wings play host to the Nashville Predators. As I mentioned, best bets at the end of the show. We'll get a great pick out of all of us on this surprisingly decent slate here on a Friday. Hope you guys all had a profitable Thursday night across the board. Carmine, we'll go to you for your thoughts. Rangers and Panthers should be a great matchup.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. The Rangers playing extremely well, and now they're in Florida for the Florida double. They play Panthers tonight, and then they play Tampa Bay tomorrow. So you want to keep an eye on who the goalies are going to be for the Rangers. But in reality, both the goalies for the Rangers are good. Shesterkin is Shesterkin, and then they've got Quick, who's having a great year as well too. And even if you look at sort of the the goalie numbers for Shesterkin and for Quick, Igor's 3-1 against Florida all time, 278 goals against average, 926 save percentage. Against Tampa, he's won better. He hasn't lost in regulation, 5-0-1, 146, 953 save percentage. So whether he's in net tonight or tomorrow, I'm not really worried because Quick is just as good, 12-4 against Florida. So either one of these goalies plays well against this Panthers team. But this is a Panthers team that's playing some really good defense right now. I've been taking advantage of it. I've been putting plays out on the Florida unders, and they did the job against Tampa Bay, and I expect them to do similar here as far as a defensive effort. Two very good teams. You look at the over-under numbers for the Rangers, and it's pretty much split. I think it's 51.5 to the over, 48.5 to the under. No matter which one you're playing, you're losing money on them because you're always laying that 15 to 20 cents juice either way. So you're not making money. Where you are making money is if you're betting Panther unders. 21, 13 this season to the under, 61.8%. Any way you slice it, you're making money betting Panthers unders, and that's where I'm going here. Totals at 6. I took the 6 in the Rangers last game, and it finished 5-1 in that game. But it's that CLV, Andrew, you were talking about. That game later on in the day dropped to 5.5. So you got to grab the number, the best number, or you completely pass. And this number's at 6 right now. I would lean to the under. If it changes, and I don't see it going to a 5.5, but if it changes, you just pass on the game completely. But I like the under 6 here in this spot. Andy, my favorite Friday guest. Actually, that sounds bad because I know you're our only Friday guest. One of my favorite guests throughout the week. Andy, what do you think about this game?
Wow.
Nice save. Nice. Very Shesterkin-esque on that save there, Carm. Kick save and a beauty. Nobody noticed. Yeah. Thanks for having me on. Couple props I like in this one. Matthew Tkachuk under 3.5 shots on goal. This is one of those where, like, if the books put him at 2.5, it's going to be juicy and people take him over. At 3.5 shots on goal, it's kind of dicey. I don't know what to do. But he's gone under in 8 out of 9 games. This is a Rangers team that is 9th best in allowing shots on goal. So I think you're getting a little value on Tkachuk on under shots on goal. And, I mean, listen, Zibanejad will have a point. Had a point in 8 straight games, 16 out of 17. He's only had 6 games with a point in the first 15 games. So he was kind of cold to start off the year. And he's just absolutely lighting it up. He's getting goals. He's getting assists. And the Rangers have had 3 or more goals in 7 out of 8 games. So plenty of chances. I know you talked about unders in the Panthers game, but I just can't ignore how on fire he is. I mean, 16 out of 17 games, 8 straight games. He's in the groove. I love riding these streaks. So I think you're looking at Tkachuk under his shots on goal, but Zibanejad to have a point, to me, that really, really jumps out as a solid play tonight.
And a great price on that as well. He's been a great player for them for many years, and you're getting a pretty good price on him to get a point like that one quite a bit, Andy. And I'll just continue the love for the unders. I mean, 7 straight unders for the Florida Panthers, 5 of the last 7 games at home have gone under. It just seems, and the funny thing is, actually, guys, even when they've lost, like they've allowed, I think they lost back-to-back games 4-0 against Seattle and Vancouver. And of course, those both go under. So even when they're losing, winning, whatever's happening, this team is going under the total. In New York, they've been involved in a little bit of more up and down, fast-paced hockey games. But when it comes down to it, I believe they are a defensive team at heart. When you look at these teams and what they want to be and how they look in their best games, especially when they play other elite opponents, it always seems to be a grinded out, a lot of action against the boards and a lot of neutral zone play time. And I think that that's what's going to happen tonight. This is going to be one of those games, I believe, where you see two teams that have a lot of, superstar power and lots of great scorers. That could be very boring, actually. It could be one of those kind of like chess matches where you've got two teams that are more than capable of playing, an exciting brand of hockey. But if you look back to the Florida Panthers, guys, the success they had last year in the playoffs, the success they had was not because they're playing fun to watch hockey. They were playing a hard checking game, making life difficult for their opponents, very physical, and protecting their own end very, very well. And because of that, I like the under here. I think this is going to be a very defensive game. We have two great goaltenders. And as Carm mentioned, as for this New York Rangers team right now, it doesn't matter who the goaltender is. I have faith in both guys. It could be Quick, it could be Shesterkin, could be a guy in the crowd they brought in before the game. Whoever's in between the pipes for this Rangers team is playing well. So give me the under in this game. I think we see a very defensive game here on a Friday night between these two teams. And I think we're going to see kind of a playoff atmosphere, even though it's just December, when these two Eastern Conference teams go head to head. Let's keep things rolling with our second game. We have the Capitals and we have the Islanders going head to head. Andy, I mentioned to Carm when we came out of this holiday break, it was only a handful of days, but some teams might not want the break. They might want to just say, no, we're rolling. We'll keep on playing. Well, the Islanders, they got slapped around by the Penguins in their first game after the holiday break. Do you feel like they respond? Are there any props in this game that sticks out to you?
Yeah, I got this game circled as my same game parlay of the show. And there's one guy that I have been riding, and that's Pierre Engvall, to not have a point. I am just in love with these props on guys to not have a point. There's a ton of them out there. We're on a 6-0 run in NHL, and it's all playing guys to not have a point. You find these guys that are struggling, that are not getting a ton of ice time. You see their stats going down. You can just play them night after night after night. So we'll do a same game parlay with Engvall to not have a point. 9 straight games without a point, and he's only minus 160. And I'll parlay that with the Capitals under 4.5 goals. That one's a little bit juicy, but it lowers this total down to around minus 140. 12 games in a row under 4.5 goals for the Capitals. They've only gone over this twice this season. So Engvall's been one of my bread and butter guys to not have a point. We'll put it with the Capitals for our same game parlay of the show.
Andy, I just have to say, you make it fun to bet against guys. Like, you make unders fun. Like, honestly, I think back to like when you started handicapping hockey here with us on this show, like in the playoffs. And I always remember, like, I was in Montreal and I was doing a show with you and you just ripped on like 3 players in a row. And you're like, Tyler Toffoli, this guy sucks. He's not getting a point. Now Engvall's on your hit list. Like, NHL players do not want to be on Andy's list to bet unders because you find guys to bet against and you roll with it. So I like it, man. Hey, it can be fun betting unders too, right? Not just overs. You can enjoy cheering against guys out there. Do you watch these games when you're betting against them?
Absolutely. And I will tell you, this is by far the best sport to watch if you have an under. Like, watching an under in basketball is just terrifying. Watching an under in NFL is terrifying. But with the NHL, it is great because your guy comes onto the ice and you're like, all right, man, I hope the other team has the puck. And then once you see him turn and go towards the bench, you're like, yes, there's one shift with no point. Let's go. And it's just all day long. When the other team gets a power play, you're like, sweet, there's 2 minutes of the game gone. He's not getting a point on this one. So yes, betting unders in the NHL is like one of my new favorite things. I was so mad last night. The guy I had to go do something and I couldn't watch the game. So I'm like trying to follow on my phone, and it just is not nearly as exciting. But yes, betting unders and watching them in the NHL, this is my new favorite thing for 2024.
I like it. And I know one guy, Carmine, that if he has a bet on something, he has to watch it, right, Carm? What are your thoughts on this game?
So listen, to your point of betting unders, and I've been doing it with some NHL games recently, the last week or two, and then whether it's soccer, even in NFL, I can't watch the game. I have a routine. I know with soccer, every 30 minutes I will check in. I will check the score and hope I still see 0-0. Same with NHL, but with NHL, it can turn on a dime. An under can turn into an over so quickly. But with that said, you look at these teams, and this is the last time they're going to play this season, which I think is fantastic. It's like tuning into Monday Night Football, and you find out it's the Jets playing the Jets. You don't want to watch the Jets play. No disrespect to Jets fans, but I just can't watch the Jets. 67.2 to the under, the Washington Capitals this season, the best under record if you're betting unders. And you would think, okay, well, it's what's this total at 6? It's not. It's at 5.5. And the problem is the Islanders, who you would expect are the team that you're supposed to bet unders with, especially with a goalie like Sorokin, are 60.3 to the over. They were a little higher than that, and they're sort of trending backwards. The fact that Washington's won the last two after the Islanders won the first one in Washington by a 3-0 scoreline, all three games have stayed under the total. None of them even gotten to 6. I think 5. I think 4-1 was the highest scoreline thus far between these teams. But 5.5s are so tough to bet the under. Andrew, you know, we try and avoid it, and it's shaded to the over, 20 cents to the over. I'd rather take the Islanders here off of their last game, which, as you mentioned, and I just want to quickly bring it up here, they lose 7-0 at home to the Pittsburgh Penguins. When you get embarrassed 7-0 on your home ice, or 7-0 in a game, you got to have a spine. You have to play better next time out. We saw Pittsburgh go to Toronto, lose 7-0 in Toronto on a Saturday night, come home and beat a Minnesota team that had been playing well, and they win that game 4-3. So they showed a little bit of backbone in that one, and I have to believe that the Islanders do that here. Wasn't the greatest start for Washington out of the gate post Xmas break, losing 5-1 to the Rangers, but the Rangers are going to do that to a lot of teams. I think New York doubles up here and gives them another loss, so and evens this series at 2. So I'm going to take the Islanders. It's a little pricey. I'm seeing like 160, 165, but I think it's the right side here.
I think it is too, Carm. Andy knows I'm propping up. I have my guys that I don't like in the NFL, you know, but Baker Mayfield actually been playing pretty well, so I can't really hate on the guy right now. But there's my teams in the NHL that I don't like, and the Islanders were one of them. But they stopped playing boring hockey. They've actually been a team that plays fun hockey. They're actually a decent team to watch. But I think that we could see some regression on a larger scale, but not in this one. I like the fact they didn't just lose their game out the break. They got slapped around, like I mentioned earlier, losing 7-0 to the Pittsburgh Penguins. There's lots of vets on this team. There's a great decor as well that I think loves to not only, you know, defend, but jump into the rush and help out offensively. This has been a power play that's performed at a pretty good level during this great stretch. This is a good way of getting a money line into a nice price here. I'm going to take the team total up and over 3.5 for me with the New York Islanders. Get a nice plus price on this one. Two teams that I get it on a large scale past few years have struggled to score. And this Washington Capitals team, look at it. They have over their last 7 games, they've scored more than 3. They've only scored 3 goals as their highest amount of goals. They haven't even scored 4 or 5 at all. They can't really trade goals with teams. What they are doing is allowing goals against elite teams. And they haven't actually played a lot of elite teams recently over their last 10 games even. when they play the Islanders, I believe they're going to see teams that have firepower, teams that can score. And I think it's just worth it in this spot to expect not only just a defensive bounce back game here from the Islanders, but an offensive bounce back from them. So I just like the fact that we're going to take that big minus price, get it into a good price here on the team total. And I'll take this Islanders team over 3.5 on their team total goals. Carmine, they haven't been scoring, this Capitals team, but they also haven't really been giving up a ton. But I feel like in this game, we're going to see lots of pace, and I wouldn't mind going over the total in general, but I'll just stick with the Islanders team total over.
Andrew, I like that idea because we see with totals, and yesterday's a prime example of it. Sometimes you can like a total in a team total, but not like the over in the game. Like I did a free play video yesterday on the Edmonton Oilers San Jose game, and I took the Oilers team total over 4.5 goals in that game. But I said I'm not going to take the team total because I need to believe that both teams can score, and I didn't think San Jose could score. And it turns out they didn't. The game finishes 5-0. The team total cashes, and the game stays under the total. If anyone told you, if you're betting sevens, it's tough because you need 8, and unless the Oilers completely blow them out, you're going to need at least a couple of goals, maybe even 3 from San Jose. And I just didn't have faith on that happening. But you look at games like yesterday, the Vancouver game looks like a dead under after one period, and then all of a sudden a late collapse. It's 3-0 at the end of the at the end of the second. And then before you know it, it's 4-1 with about 8 minutes left in the game. You're like, okay, I was thinking I'm going to get at least a push. I had a small play on the over 6. So I'm thinking at least a push. But then Tocchet is not John Cooper. John Cooper will take the goalie out down 3 goals with 7 minutes left, and he goes empty net. Tocchet never once thought about taking the goalie out. Even with 4 minutes left, 3 minutes left, I'm like, this guy's not going to pull the goalie. I guess he had the under, but or watched Andy Lang say bet the unders, but that's what it did. It just those happen. The Vegas Golden Knights game is another one as well too. 3-2, no empty net stuff. Game stays under the total. That's the thing with total sometimes is, Andrew, you've made money this season betting team totals, and even last season, you got to stick with what works. And sometimes liking a team total over while not liking the full game over is the way to go.
I feel like it's a pretty nice feeling when you hit a team total over and the full game stays under, because you pretty much just realize it takes 2 to tango. A lot of the time you need 2 teams to contribute when you're betting it over, right, guys? You can't just rely on one team. And if you are, just take that team total over. Guys, we have a promo code, PUCK175. That will work for the 3 of us. PUCK175 will take $175 off the remainder of the NHL season. So if you're interested in joining one of us on all of our favorite plays for the rest of the season, don't bother paying $25 per play on a daily basis. Get a great deal at our homepages at WagerTalk.com and take $175 off using that promo code PUCK175, PUCK175. Take $175 off. Carm, I'm going to swing it back to you for your thoughts on the Nashville Predators and Detroit Red Wings. Patrick Kane, man, looking pretty good since joining this team. However, the Red Wings themselves, well, still pretty inconsistent.
Yes, Andrew. You just kind of stopped it right there. Pretty inconsistent. And it's like, to you, Carm. Andrew, listen, this is one of those games where guys, I've been talking about the Preds and how I like the Predators, and they've been playing well. But this is a spot where I like the Red Wings tonight. And it's a buy low price, but it's also a buy low price because you look at the team and they've lost, what is it here? 8 of their last 10 games, this team has lost. But the thing is, they're starting to, they got some bodies back. I think the most important one that they get back is Alex Lyon, who starts in goal tonight. He was good before he got injured, and with the injury problems going on with Husso and Lyon, and it having to be Reimer pretty much the whole way. The fact that they get him back, and their last game at home was a wild one against the Flyers. They jumped out to that lead. I think it was like 6-1, which became 6-6, and they ended up winning it. The thing is that more so than that is the fact that when I look at a team like Nashville, who are playing extremely well, and then they start to tail off a little bit, it's when I'm looking for that regression to kick in with the Preds, and they've lost 3 or 4 right now. They didn't look good against the Carolina Hurricanes, but I'm happy about that because I had the Canes in that one, and much like I had the Canes last night, but they didn't look good in that one. They showed very little fight, and it's similar to what they showed in their previous game against the Dallas Stars. I think they go. The problem here is if they struggle to score, and they only got a couple against the Canes, a couple against the Stars, and then a couple against 4 back against the Canucks. If they struggle to score against this Detroit team, they could find themselves buried very quickly and just can't get themselves out of it. I'm taking Detroit here. It's minus 115. There hasn't been much movement on the line. I think it opened up 110 both ways overnight. A little bit of Detroit money coming in, but I like the fact that it's lying in goal tonight. So I'm taking the Red Wings to get the victory tonight, and I'll throw it to Andy for his thoughts.
I'm leaning towards some kind of overs here in this game. I'm looking at the Predators, and I don't know, it's kind of strange. They've won their last 3 road games and lost their last 3 home games. That's an odd little trend. Patrick Kane has a point in 5 straight games. Nyquist has a point in 3 straight games and 16 out of 23. And Detroit's given up 4.8 goals per game the last 5. I think these teams just are all offense and not a lot of defense right now at this at this moment. You look at Detroit, and they lost 6-3, 3-2. They beat Philly, but it's a 7-6 game in a shootout. Before that, they're losing 5-2, 4-3. So there's a lot of goals in that game, which we talked about unders, but if you have a game pegged to go over, you can grab some of these players that will have points or will have shots on goal. And then you look at Predators, they lose 5-2, 3-2. They win 4-2, but they also lose 5-2. So I think there's a potential that this could be a shootout. I like the over in this one, and I like some of these guys I mentioned to have points in this one. So I think overs are the way to go in this game.
I'm right there with you. Let's get an exciting game here. I think that Nashville, I just don't think they can sustain what they were doing. I think I have them pegged as a team where you look at the month of December, as I keep on using that as kind of my past few weeks, whether it's weekly or the full season. As you guys know, I don't like looking at a huge scale. They've been a team overall that I think has overachieved, not offensively, actually, but defensively. Their expected goals against percentage, expected goals against in general, some of the chances that they've been giving up every single game, they're kind of reminding me of the Nashville Predators that I watched growing up, where they're just relying on their goaltending. And when you rely on your goaltending, it really comes back to bite you eventually. This line, to me, it just goes to show the respect the Red Wings have from the betting marketplace. Look at the standings right now. Look at the record for both these teams and ask yourself, why is the record the way it really is? Or why is the price the way it is? And I think that the Red Wings are a buy team for me. If they figure out their goaltending and get healthier a little bit defensively, they are a team that's not struggling to score by any means. The chemistry is certainly there. They have forward depth. I'm buying into the wiser plan, as they've been calling her. Stevie Y has done a good job putting this team together, and I feel like they are a bet on, and you're getting a good price with them tonight. I like the Red Wings to get the job done. I don't like teams that rely on their goaltending. I don't like teams that always need highlight saves out of their goalies every single game. And frankly, I believe that's been Nashville. Their offense has been good. Don't get me wrong. I think it's their defense that starts to plummet. And I think Detroit really gets going. So sign me up for the Detroit Red Wings on the money line. I don't mind the over either. Hey, let's get some goals. That's fine by me, guys. Just hope Detroit contributes to that scoring, and they contribute to the over. Before I forget, we do have another segment coming up here, the 6 in 60 segment. Carm, we're back to regular schedule here. We've got a bunch of games tomorrow. What do you have for us?
I got 6 games in 60 seconds, but before I get there, I will dedicate. I always just grab
I
one
know
name out of
that.
our live chat. Out of our live chat, I will dedicate to Saturday 6 and 60 to one of our viewers. I'm going to go with Disbanded Brotherhood, because he helps our analytics. He replies with just a dot sometimes. I'll see the comments after our video's done. There's just a dot. And it's great for the analytics. So I really appreciate it. Hit that like button, guys, while you're there, and subscribe to the channel. But I love the dot. With that said, let's hope we got some check marks here and not some X's. So Dan, let's hit that clock. There it is. All right, Columbus and Buffalo. Blue Jackets embarrassed the Sabres 9-4 in Buffalo a little over a week ago. Revenge for the Sabres in regulation time, -130. Florida and Montreal. I'm going to take the under in this game, whether it's 6 or 6.5. Panthers, 7 straight unders. St. Louis and Pittsburgh. Live dog here with the Blues. They've won 5 of their last 6, including beating the Stars twice and Florida. Give me the +150. Rangers and Tampa Bay. I'm going to take the Rangers +107. Rangers rolled out of the Christmas break with an easy 5-1 win, and it's hard to ignore a team that's 12-4-1 on the road when you're getting plus money. Carolina and Toronto. Toronto will be on the second of a back-to-back. It's going to be Martin Jones in goal. I'm riding with the Canes right now, so give me the Canes +102. Edmonton, LA Kings. Oilers +102. The Oilers are playing extremely well. 11-3 since the coaching change. I'm going to take the plus money with the Oilers. That's your 6 and 60.
Boom. I like it. At the buzzer. At the buzzer as well. Great stuff.
At the buzzer.
I like those plays, and I will say, Carm, I've noticed the Canadians, one thing about them, when they come off a game where they play horrible defensively, they usually lock it down the next game, whether they're on the winning or losing side of it. So I really do like the under. I was looking at that one myself. Andy, big weekend ahead, brother. What do you have going on for your clients, and what's your best bet for us?
Well, a couple of things. I see a couple of things in the chat, and it looks like the general consensus is that overs are just a lot more fun than the unders. So I will say I'm 27-14 in NHL this year. That's 65.9%. And I'm 6-0 in my last 6 plays. All unders. That's fun. Winning is fun. 6-0 streaks are fun. So I'm having a lot of fun betting my unders, and I'll completely keep doing it again. And my best bet is going to be another under. I'll take Braden Shen. Will not have a point. And Carm, I'm with you. I think this Blues team is absolutely a live dog tonight. Was the Avalanche lost 6 road games in a row? Like, they're terrible on the road. They've given up some goals, and we're getting a really, really good price on a guy that is completely in a slump. He only has 16 points this season. He has not had a point in 8 straight games. Shen is absolutely my best bet at -140 to not have a point. We got a 5% NFL pack that is up right now, WagerTalk.com. 35-15 in our last 50 NFL plays, 6-0 NHL run, and we are at plus 112 units for 2023. So we're closing out a great year, run a nice run across all sports. Go grab that NHL play. Let's make it 7-0 tonight at WagerTalk.com.
Andy, congratulations on a great, great calendar year across multiple sports. And keep it going with the NHL, man. Unders, overs, whatever way you're going. It's all about the winners from where I'm sitting. So I like that one quite a bit. 2 promo codes for me to use the Puck 175, take $175 off an NHL season, and Prop 50. Prop 50 takes $50 off a 30-day prop all access pass. And my best bet for the show is going to be Tyler Toffoli over 2.5 shots on goal for the New Jersey Devils. Bit of a contrarian play here as he's gone under in 8 of his last 10 games, but the shot attempts are extremely high. We've seen some where it's been 10, 7, 5. He's certainly getting these shots off. It's just a matter of getting those on target. They're playing the Senators tonight. This is a matchup I like quite a bit. The Sens defense has been rough lately. They're bottom 10 in a lot of defensive categories. I believe Toffoli gets to at least 3 shots on goal tonight, and I'm backing him to go over his number. You want to get in early with these streaks, right? You don't want to join a streak too late. Well, he's gone under in 8 of his last 10. I'm hoping he turns the tides here a little bit. We'll go over with Tyler Toffoli on his shot prop. Carm, back over to you, brother.
All right. I'm super impressed. Andy Lang's having a monster year. So, yes, head over there and grab his, pick up his package. I don't want to say grab his package. It always sounds so weird, like immature. The immaturity
Pause.
of this show, man, is unbelievable.
Pause.
And it's not even Wednesday. It's Friday. It's Friday. Where's that mute button when you need it? Guys, I have a couple plays up in the NHL tonight. One's a 5% play. The other one, you'll find it in the free play section over at WagerTalk, and I'm going to talk about it in a second. But pick up the 3-day all access package, or even the 7-day one. You can use the code CARM30 and still get $30 off 7-day all access. A lot of NHL, weekend soccer, and of course NFL as well too, where we've on a great run, number one at WagerTalk. Let's keep all of that going. I'm taking the Seattle Kraken tonight. This is Raven Ron. If you're watching, man, this is for you, buddy. The Kraken. Andrew said they're winning ugly. You know what they call winning ugly? They call it winning. They're 5-0-2 their last 7 games. The 2 losses coming to the LA Kings and I believe it was the Dallas Stars in OT. Respectable losses. They've picked up points in their last 7 games. They're winning. It's not nice hockey, but they're winning. That's all that really matters. So I'm rolling with the Kraken. They get the Flyers, who are playing well, but they're on the second of a back-to-back tonight. And if you looked at the XG numbers on that, Vancouver's XG numbers were actually better than Florida's last night. It was just a 4-minute spell at the end of the second period that did in the Canucks. Tonight, it's the Kraken. Seattle Kraken minus 130 is your show best bet. And we wish you guys all a great weekend of betting. Have a safe and prosperous one, guys.
Release the Kraken. Great stuff there, Carmen. I got to say, with it being 11:32 Eastern right now, how productive this show has been. We've had some laughs, given out some picks, talked about some promotional stuff. I just want to take a mental note with how productive this show has been. We're ready to wrap this up in about half an hour. Great show. I really enjoyed it, is what I'm trying to say here. We got all kinds of stuff done. We got the 6 and 60 segment done, all kinds of great picks out. And guys, remember, if you're interested in some all access passes, there's so much out there to get involved in. You got the Puck 175 deal, some great all sports deals as well coming in the new year. So just a great time to look at some packages. Carv.
And how can you forget Andrew? I'm sorry. I before Dan cut us off, and now he's like, great, guys, 30 minutes just turned into 40. How can we forget? Sunday is the 31st, NYE. Have a great time with your families, loved ones. Just be careful. Obviously, I'm throwing in the old don't drink and drive. Grab an Uber, get a designated driver, but just have a good time, make some money, and then we'll see you back on Monday.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to mention that as well, guys. Wishing you all a safe and a fun celebrating New Year's Eve. We will see you in 2024 right here on WagerTalk TV. All the best.